All right, so everyone, let's just settle into our meditation posture. And the reason I do this is because we can just kind of settle our mind. So I don't know, you guys are all kind of busy. So am I, and your mind is kind of all buzzy. That's why we want to chat when we see each other. We're not settled. So just this is also, pre-sleep. So it's good to kind of settle ourselves down, take ourselves away from our devices, which is something I need to discipline myself to do more. And check your feet and make sure they're in a parallel position if you're having them flat on the floor. Sits bones kind of raised with a cushion or something if you need that. You will need that if you're sitting in the regular cross-legged position. Really helps to keep your spines nicely aligned. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And the right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And like I said, for this purpose of this meditation, it doesn't have to be that way. If it's more comfortable for you with your hands just resting on your thighs, that's fine also. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So you can imagine someone's above you, very gently lengthening your spine. So putting some space in between the vertebrae, lengthening all the muscles along the back. And just feel yourself getting a little bit longer. And the head is slightly tipped forward. Eyes are down. Relax the jaw. And bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes. The nose and the cheeks. And then just go back to the back of the head. Relax the back of the scalp and the ears and the inner ear, the temples, the jaw. And relax the back of the neck. Allow your shoulders to just drop down, the shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly, the limbs, the hands, fingers, and feet and toes. And then just bring the mind back to the breath. If there are any sounds in your environment, just allow those sounds to be there. So try not to run off and investigate with your mind. Try not to be distracted. Just bring the mind back to the breath. And you'll notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And then just notice what's arising in the mind and try not to engage, particularly if the thoughts are negative or you're giving yourself a bit of a hard time. We tend to have this running commentary of this kind of critical self. So maybe just relax that a little bit. Try not to engage or have opinions or follow a story. Just allow the thoughts to arise and examine them with curiosity. That's all. Take a step back. Just see what's there. And however it is you're showing up this evening, it's completely fine. There's no way for you to be other than who you are right in this moment. So let's just bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, the ones we have a little bit difficulty with, and then those folk who are strangers to us. There's probably more strangers in our life, passing through our life on a daily basis, than there are people that we know, particularly if you're doing a lot of driving. It's always good to remember that that friend and enemy and stranger could change place at any time. And our practice of our baby steps towards developing bodhicitta, developing compassion, is this one of equanimity. So trying to imagine, feeling, and understanding that everybody is the same as us. And how is that? Well, we all want to be happy. Everybody wants to be free from suffering. And everyone has this capacity for this enlightened mind. And it does sound a little simplistic, but it's a good place to start because we're so complicated. So I think that we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension for all the sentient beings. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can create positivity with our mind. We're doing this practice of Vajrasattva in the context of the 4 opponent powers. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything that you have done to harm any living being today, in this life and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in our future. So it doesn't sound like it's much fun. So logically, we do want to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger and attachment and the rest that are cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm really sick of this suffering. And then think, whom can I turn to? What can I do about it? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva, who, rather than like a savior who is there, who's going to save us and forgive us, he's like a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Vajrasattva to forgive us. Like I said, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made radiant, blissful white light. He's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and his face is radiant and beautiful. His eyes are long, they're shaped like lotus petals, and they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has no critical thoughts towards you, no sort of like discrimination towards one person or another. Just loves everybody the same, all those people of your life. His arms are crossed at his heart. The left is holding, the left underneath the right, and the left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents a union of these two, symbolizing enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So while we're developing compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. And this is particularly for those who have harmed you. because you can imagine the harm they've caused you is going to ripen for them in the future as suffering. So we make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings and think I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the remedy. This is the medicine. So imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully. It comes from his heart and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of speech, and Vajrasattva now very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you can just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Miboa Savasiti Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa Sutokaya Miboa Supokaya Miboa Anarakta Mibawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dita Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Duda Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Duda Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So just I forget every single day. So we just try and remind ourselves to think and to wish and to aspire that every syllable that falls out of your mouth will be of benefit to somebody else before we just open our mouth and go blah, blah, blah. So try and have some discipline around our speech and have a wish for it to be beneficial for others. So the next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this light arcs around and it enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. The light in the room instantly dispels the darkness. So you can just imagine as the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression and resentment and jealousy and bitterness and grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled. Not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kamasita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Satra Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sutokaya Mibawa Supokaya Mibawa Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me bhava sitokaya me bhava sipokaya me bhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering, the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. They're gone. And just think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva again sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely, and it's eradicating even the subtlest imprint of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita mebhava sutokaya mebhava sipokaya mebhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me bhava sutokaya me bhava sipokaya me bhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me bhava sutokaya me bhava sipokaya me bhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me bhava sutokaya me bhava sipokaya me bhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me bhava sutokaya me bhava sipokaya me bhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me bhava sutokaya me bhava sipokaya me bhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dita me bhava sutokaya me bhava sipokaya me bhava Anurakta me bhava sabasiti mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe So now really try and believe that you are completely purified and not one atom of negativity is left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And next is the power of resolve. And this is the fourth step in the purification process. And it's really a crucial step, is this determination to try not to harm with our body, speech, and our mind. And so without some kind of determination or wish or aspiration, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again because we're human and we have habits and we have karma. And anyway, just goes on. So we have to, at some point, decide we're going to try and put a stop to it. And that could also include negative self-talk. So give yourself a timeline of, 30 seconds, 5 seconds, and be aware of what's coming out of your mouth. Be aware of what's going on in the mind. Just becoming a little bit more in touch with what is going on. And all these shootings that have been happening in California recently, this is anger. Someone has been stewing and brewing for years and then finally goes out and has this idea that it would be a good idea to kill people. And it's just maybe if they'd gone on top of what's going on in their mind earlier, may not have happened. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. And let's just do a wee meditation on emptiness. And emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for just a little while. So we can think maybe that all phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. And perhaps you can think that the way things are appearing to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And maybe we can just dedicate some of the merit that we've created to all those people who were killed in the last 2 or 3 days. I think there was 3 separate shootings here in California, one just a little bit south of us here in Half Moon Bay, and also for the people that actually, the gunmen. So just thinking of these people. And some long life prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind, to the Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lamsa Rinpoche, O Tup Shul Chang Jin Jam Gon Galloway, Tenzing Kyung Pelaway, Kunza Dog Porze, Chog Sum Kurway Leg Mon to Drum, Pa Dog Sog Dulaje, Kondu Jab Ten Shog. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody, the week is running away from me again. Lots of love. Sleep well. Nice to see you all, and take care, and I'll see you tomorrow evening. Thank you very much for hosting, and thanks for the